Hi everyone, this is Cynthia Belmer and today is a very special day because it's officially our first episode from Super Life channel, and it's even more special because if you've been neglecting your health and happiness, my guest today may very well inspire you to make that change. I want to welcome the amazing Susan Gonzalez to Super Life channel. Hi Susan and welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm so honored to be your first guest.
I'm so honored to have you here with me. I'll just talk about Susan here for a bit. So Susan is a stage 3 cancer survivor, the co-author of 100 Perks of Having Cancer, plus 100 health tips for surviving it. She is on a mission to revolutionize cancer survivorship. She is an amazing advocate for health and wellness with a focus on cancer prevention. She is also the founder of Immunoorganics, a natural skincare company that caters to the needs of survivors. I've personally used her products and they're absolutely amazing. So today, Susan is going to tell us about her story, how surviving cancer has helped her find more happiness in her life. So Susan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and how having cancer had actually changed your life?
Sure. Well, I was always healthy. I'm a registered nurse and I work in cardiology, so I always lived a healthy life, exercised, ate the right things. And when I went for my routine mammogram at age 41, I was discovered to have stage 3 cancer. My tumor was about 2.5 inches large, so it was quite big. And I was extremely shocked. I didn't believe it. And this forced me to try to get my strength up, my courage, use all my resources in order to get through treatment. And then I went on to make some changes in my life, and that's what prompted me to want to share those changes with everyone.
Can you tell us a little bit how were you able to find the courage to and the strength to actually survive what had happened, and even the mindset that you had to have during this entire time?
Sure. I don't know if it was courage. You know, things happen to you and you deal with it the way that you have learned how to deal with things in your life. Everyone goes through trauma in their life, either a divorce or a loss of a loved one. So you draw on what you've learned in the past. And I've always been the kind of person that when there's a problem, I look at the problem and I list all my solutions and I get to work on solving the problem. So in doing this, I found that taking day to day, just one day at a time, really helped me. And I also learned to ask for help from those around me, from my support systems. And this really helped. Being strong is also recognizing when you need help and to reaching out. And I found that helped.
Sorry, I think this is a really great reminder for us every single day to remember that we need help, because oftentimes we think, well, we're strong, we don't need help. And this is how the society kind of raises us. So whether we're going through a disease or going through trauma or going through our normal everyday life, it's really important to ask for this help, because it's in a way, and I want your opinion about this, but from what I've discovered and experienced myself is, if you help others, there's a lot of healing that is happening within you. So it's really important to reciprocate and to contribute actually to the world.
Yes, absolutely.
And to accept. So it's not constantly to give, it's also to receive.
Yes, and you're really helping those people that love you, because they feel helpless. So when you're allowing them to help you, you're really helping them as well.
Yeah, that's really great advice. So what tips can you give people who are going through a challenge in their life, no matter what challenges they're going through? Sometimes we feel that things are falling apart, even if it's from a very small thing. So how can you really help people or give them tips about what you have discovered throughout your journey?
Sure. After my diagnosis, I discovered that in order to get through this crisis, I was going to have to take stock in myself. And I discovered that through meditation and through really getting in touch with myself, I was able to put myself in a place that allowed me to become more powerful and make choices.
Yeah.
So many times as patients, or sometimes just in our lives, we feel like life is just happening to us and we just don't have any power over that. And really, when you are comfortable with yourself, when you can muster up that self-confidence, you realize that you do have power, and having the power and making changes to change your health actually helps you get through it.
So since you went through this journey and you had this kind of wake-up call, what kind of advice would you give our viewers or people who are procrastinating in their life, meaning they are delaying their happiness? They're saying, oh, well, 20 years from now I can do this. 20 years from now I can do, when I retire, I will do what I love to do in my life. Or even not taking care of their health, of their mind, of their soul, of everything.
Maybe the most simple thing you can do is to realize that here and now is really all you have. And if you're not happy now, if you're waiting for that happiness, you might not have that future. You know, you have to think about the here and now and making that the best time and the best experience that you can in your life. The first thing that you need to do is take stock of yourself. What is it that you want? Do you want to change your job? Is fear keeping you from changing your job? And think about what if someone told me I only had, you know, a year to live? What would I do to change? And if you ask yourself, if you truly ask yourself that question, I had to ask myself that question. I really thought I was going to die. That's the reality of it. So I was able to just find out what is making me unhappy, what areas of my life do I need to change, and then I just started very slowly with very simple things, changing how I focused on my exercise. I changed my diet. I looked at how I was treating the people around me that I loved, and really getting in touch with the mind-body connection, and really using meditation in order to get in touch with that.
Yeah, and meditation is always a really great way to start calming the mind and understanding who we really are, understanding what's really happening right now, which in our everyday life we often miss on that. We're always busy doing the right next thing, and we often get disappointed because we think that the right next thing is going to make us happy maybe, but it never does. So this is really great advice. I'm curious about how this incident has actually shaped your life in terms of your purpose. I know that you were a registered nurse prior to, what do you call it? BC.
We say BC before cancer, AC is after cancer.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about your purpose, how it shifted before and after the cancer.
Sure. Before cancer, I was a registered nurse. I worked at a job, and my job was helping people to get healthy. After cancer, I needed to continue that work. But in my own journey of finding what made me healthy and really focusing on how I can avoid getting cancer again, I discovered that there are very simple things that people can do to empower themselves in their health. And my purpose has become to tell as many people as I can about these small little changes that they can do. And they're really very simple changes. In the book, there are 100, but they're really more than that. And they're very easy things that you can do every day in order to really empower yourself and get yourself healthy, because you're the one responsible for doing that.
Yeah, of course. And in other words, if you're the one who's not making yourself healthy, no one will ever. We can't keep blaming other people. That's or right. Blaming it on the food or exactly on other things. And it's the same thing in every single area in our life, whether it was relationship, whether it was a job, whether it was, you know, our wealth. It's kind of like the victim mentality, constantly saying, well, this is not happening for me, this is not happening for me. But it's really important to step out of this and take a look at the big picture and see how you can change your life and how you can contribute, which is what you're doing through your book and through your mission right now. So tell us a little bit about your book and what inspired you to write it.
Sure. When I got my diagnosis, I started looking at different ways that I can change my daily activity in order to stay healthy and prevent getting cancer again, because once is enough.
Yeah.
So in doing this, I found that there was a lot of contradictions. There were a lot of people out there trying to sell things, and there's a lot of misinformation, basically. So when I would research something, I would research it through looking at very reliable sources, and when I found a good piece of information, I would want to just tell everyone about it. So that's how my blog was born, and my blog is The Savvy Sister. It's simple ways of healthy living. So each time I found something, I would blog about it. And then Flo Strang, my co-author, she's a registered psychologist, She has a blog called 100 Perks of Having Cancer, and she challenged herself to find 100 good things that happened to her during her cancer treatment.
That's amazing.
And she did find 100, more than 100 things, really. And then she wrote about it. We liked to comment on each other's blog. I went to her blog because she was so funny and inspiring. And then she came to my blog for health tips that she would incorporate in her life. So we got to chatting offline and decided that she actually thought of, wouldn't this be a great idea for a book? So we got together, and even though we live on two different lands, really, she lives in Newfoundland, Canada, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So we live far away, but through the magic of computers and Skype, we were able to write this book and get it published.
That's really great. Well, we can't really wait to see the book. When is it going to get released?
We're launching the book at the Women's Cancer Survivors Convention, and that's in Nashville on August 22nd of 2013.
Yay! It's coming up very soon.
Very soon.
We can't wait to have it, and we'll definitely be posting this on the blog so that people would know about it. So, what kind of advice would you give our viewers, especially after you went through this whole journey and all the discoveries that you've had?
The one thing I would say is you don't have to wait for a cancer diagnosis or any big horrible event in your life in order to change the way you're living and in order to take stock of what it is that's going to make you happy. You can start today, right now, in order to empower yourself to make just tiny changes, and that will translate into every area of your life. If you take care of yourself and you are centered, it really puts everything else into place. Your relationships, your job, your career, your health, everything will fall into place. And you have the power. You know, your doctor sees you for 10 minutes. The rest of that time, you're in control of taking care of yourself, and you do have the power to choose to be healthy, and it's not hard.
Yeah, definitely. When we're talking about being healthy, we're actually talking about every single area in our life, because if we're going to the gym every day, but we're really not taking care of our emotions or of our mind or small things that when we come back home, it really drains us and it really sucks the life out of us in a way, then this is, in the long run, this is going to also affect our health, and it could cause a lot of diseases.
Yes.
So it's really important to start taking care of your health, your mind, the body, mind, soul connection, and every single area of your life, instead of just focusing completely on career, for example, because a lot of people, they just want to have a certain prestigious position, or just completely focus on the relationships and neglecting the other areas in your life, or your wealth, or your spirituality. So it's really important to bring all of these together, to examine every single area of your life, and then this is what's really healthy. This is what's really the body, mind, soul, being healthy. So I want to thank you so much, Susan, for being here with us today. It was such a pleasure, so inspiring, and so much fun.
Thank you. I had a great time. I appreciate you having me.
And hopefully we'll have you over sometime soon in the future, especially when you have your book released. And I will have the URL for her website down below in the blog, so make sure to check it out. So Susan and I, for now, want to hear from you in the comments below. So what's the one thing that's keeping you from being happy in your life? And of course, for you all, if you like this video, like it and share it with your friends. And if you want more awesome resources, come on over to cynthiabelmer.com and subscribe for updates. Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you.